then now we should get
We get a number of viewers too.
eventually probably. But now we should get, see? Now we have a link here. Playing skater. Oops.
Wait, but I have to open. We could probably
Yeah, we can. Oh, I think I'm close. Fuck me. Yeah.
rename it on
Yeah, go. You think you might be able. But whoever is there can say hi. Pop out the chat. Okay. Clear link. I'm gonna copy this. There's a little bit of work, live work. Apparently we're not playing Skater XL. But I think we are here. Just go over on the other side. We can just we can do that. We can still do that. We can do that. We can still do that. We can. Oh, there's a lot of echoes. Okay, no, but we are good to go. Like now it's here. I can restore the chat here, and we can just. Can you re-sign in? Do you think? Yeah. This is like a very exploratory thing, guys. Like, don't.
Is there a lot of
I don't think so. Like, we'll see. I don't think anyone is yet. Oh, do you know that you don't need to actually type in gmail.com? It's working so far. Like, I see us. Nice. Okay. Content live.
This one. Can we rename it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. Let's see.
Keep it open just in case.
Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna close anymore. Nothing. Not gonna close anything at all.
So now you can pull the chat out? Oh,
Yeah,
if you
we
refresh
now.
it.
Yeah. I can go here and pull this chat and expand it up about the chat. And if I actually do refresh this, it should be new. Yeah, for
There's
example.
two people watching. Is it us?
And
Let's all pull out our phones and watch ourselves.
okay. So do we have the chat here, and do we also? It's gonna pop up here anyways as well. Also, we can actually do a from us, and let's see if they should be working appropriately, huh? I think. I know. Let me see. No, I have to.
Hey from us.
There you go. I'm from US.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. The.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. This.
So that it actually works now. Nice.
We should tweet the. I'll tweet the link out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not starting yet, so nothing is happening. But yeah, we have to actually individually choose the things. But we are. Yeah, similar to like just like StreamYard, honestly.
Oh, nice. Okay. And that is from the pop-out that you did there.
Yep.
Cool.
Neat. That's a neat setup. And the frame rate looks nice, so I think we should be pretty. It's 1080 and 60 frames per second. Yeah.
Looks
think
like.
we're
Yeah.
good to go.
6 people watching. 7 people watching.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people are tuning in now.
Hey, if anyone can hear us, can you say hi in the chat or something like that?
And tell us if you're hearing echo or.
Oh yes, this is a very very very. Oh, there you go. Nice. HWK, thanks. Yeah, no, this is like a very experimental thing, very very last moment, and we're hoping that like there is not like a ridiculous amount of echo. But yeah, we are having three separate microphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of an echo. Okay, I think it might be from Rishabh. I think Rishabh, you have to do like some playing of like the with your like you have to do something like put out the gain when you have to talk and pull it down when you don't, or something like that, like directly from the. Okay, so is there echo right now? Oh yeah, no, that was the. So because we think it's like a main one that is creating. Oh shit. Oh well, I think it might be Gwen's a little bit. Okay, let me do one thing just to make sure in the first thing. Oh, I think I know what. Desktop audio out, and then we need to move to my headphones. Okay. Okay, then now it should be a tiny bit better.
It's not that bad. What's up, everybody?
Okay.
If we move a little like further away too, like
Yeah, this
voices
sounds like
you there,
nice.
me there.
This looks like a three-way. No, I was gonna play. I was gonna add something like a three-way, like a psychologist session, like where there is like it's like looks like couples therapy.
we're three-way therapy right now. We're
Couples therapy.
It's kind of hot in here. Jeez. Oh, I'm also drinking hot. Drink.
That's why I
it's
drink
the
cold.
coffee.
See?
You drink cold? Oh,
There is a fan there, but it's gonna create noise
we gotta
most
chat.
likely.
Yeah.
We got Black Adam, HWK in the chat. Anyone else who's hanging out, let us know. What are we talking about today?
Did
Well,
we go
today-
live from Cloud Code Live?
No, we just went from my YouTube,
Okay,
your
okay.
YouTube.
Yeah, it's
I totally
it's
forgot our own.
yeah, it's my YouTube. Your YouTube is on.
My
My
YouTube, your
YouTube.
YouTube's on, your Twitch is on.
And my Twitch is on, so there should be a few.
We'll just repost it.
I'm
download
sure
and
there's gonna be.
repost.
Yeah, it's gonna be a repost. Potentially we can add it, but it will be a little bit of an effort right now.
Do we get like stream number? Like how many people are watching?
Not from like all the.
I see
audience
4.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
we can-
YouTube though.
You can just check on the side, honestly. Just like have it here. And
You have so many screens.
yeah, that's the important part of it, right? Like that's why I have.
What is that? Oh, that was
many
another
screens.
stream. Okay.
All right. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's gonna take a second for folks to join and such. But now that
I came in there.
the one.
I gotta make sure to grip this like this because I keep touching here and like it messes with the volume.
All right. So let's see. I think it might be a couple of folks. I'm gonna just retweeting the time.
Yeah, I tweeted it. What's going on, everybody? Rishabh, this is your last day in Manhattan, or tomorrow? No, today.
Tomorrow is the last day. Today's the last day in Manhattan,
You-
and then tomorrow is the last day in States.
You got here Thursday, Friday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday. No, but like
No,
to
I
Manhattan.
got here Friday.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah. We had
Friday, we hung out Friday. Then you guys hung out yesterday. And
Yeah.
now we're here together
multiple board games
today.
night.
Multiple board games night. And you guys went out to eat yesterday.
Yes,
Oh.
we went to a Uyghur restaurant.
Yeah?
The
How was it?
yeah, it was pretty good. It was surprisingly good. Yeah, I would say like I was surprised that like because I never had it, and it's such a like a very specific cuisine that is like oh my, like what would you?
What kind of food is it? Like
It's Chinese, but it's like Muslim Chinese cuisine.
I've never heard of that.
It's because it's
It was my
yeah.
first time. It was really good.
It was
though.
good.
Yeah.
What kind? I think you said it was like a family style kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's a
Yeah.
family style. Yeah, family style.
Sweet. Damn, sorry I missed out. No, I had homemade. Courtney made like homemade pasta with like chicken and like fried zucchini and stuff like that. It was freaking delicious.
Pasta with chicken or pasta and chicken?
chicken on the side,
Okay,
not chicken in the pasta.
Because yeah,
No.
like no, but it's not like I have a problem. My Italian blood says that chicken in pasta is
No,
kind of
it was on the side. Yeah, she made like a massive bowl size like pasta for the whole week.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see there's like more folks now just starting to join, like 12 on this side. I think there should be some.
What's going on, everybody? Sunday night is such a great time to stream. Yeah, I can see there's a couple of people joining. We're in Alf's. This is where Alf does
This is
records
my
everything.
office. Yeah, welcome. And there's a lot of like, there's not a lot of space because we are in New York City.
It's a good amount of space for an office.
For an office space,
Plus
it's
you have
good.
a lot in here. You have like 3 bookshelves.
Yeah, a bike
His exercise
that has
equipment.
never been used, but we got never been even like rode.
A lot of dude. You've always had these board games? All of these?
A
You-
lot of board games.
Did you get all these as you like when you moved here?
Basically, yeah.
That's a lot. You haven't played some of them right now?
Not all of them, but like a lot of most of them at this point. More than half of them have been played. Yes.
I'm trying to like grab this like this, but also not like this.
You
Oh,
can,
ZD.
Handy.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on?
How's it going? You think you can handle the microphone from there, like the chat thing from
yeah,
there?
yeah, I guess
So,
from-
because
I'll just push these.
yeah,
to the
whenever
side.
you wanna clear it, it's just like there is a clear button on the very bottom there,
Okay.
and that clears it from the screen. Yeah, we are doing okay. So just so you understand, like this is like a whole experimental setup, like with these comments showing up and similar, like we're not trying to do with Streamlabs, because for some reason Streamlabs doesn't really work well with my setup at home, like, so I don't know why specifically, but yeah, everything you see right now is very, very, very experimental. So hopefully if you have anything related to like the sound starts being weird or something like that, just let us know. We're trying to fix on the fly, but like this is the beauty of the live, and this is actually basically this is like one of the first times that we managed to be all together. Like this is the first time that we met Rishabh in person, for example.
Literally Friday night.
Yeah, like on
night.
Friday night,
2 nights
after
ago.
like 3 years of working together, basically, and everything.
Like talking almost every single day.
Yeah,
We talk
almost,
like
it's 3 years, no, maybe 2 years at this point. Yeah, 2 good years after of talking, like
More
every
every
day.
2.5 maybe. Yeah, almost 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's a
Since
lot of
COVID.
time,
Yeah, a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
crazy,
Surreal,
and
right?
so yeah, now managed to get together.
That's what New York City does. Connects people. If
Yeah.
it was gonna happen somewhere, it was gonna be here.
Yeah.
For
Next time is gonna be live from Kingston.
or maybe Toronto. I don't know. We'll
Maybe.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be live from a hotel room, from my laptop.
I have a very janky
Best
setup.
setup.
So if I hit clear there, no.
Yeah, there you go.
Good. Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes, so
what should we
like I
start
guess
talking
like
about?
yeah, I
Mental
guess like
cloud?
one of the largest things that we wanted to discuss like today was kind of also the new direction that we were intending to take with both the podcast and as a lot of you guys have seen, we recently kind of rebranded the live. The live chat, like the new things, like the guide, the cloud guide, to learn to cloud. Officially, I think it was like already called the kind of Learn to Cloud, but we are officially kind of rebranded it for entirely like that. And there is like a lot of plans related to that specifically. And so during this like podcast, we wanted to just go over what's our idea for the project, how do we want to move ahead with that project, and what does mean for this podcast, what does it mean for a lot of like the content that we're putting out like with the cloud guide and others, because it's gonna be a pretty extensive project that we're very excited about, and we're really excited to discuss this with you guys. I think you have to clear it and then choose. It's gonna be like that. Then, yeah, there you go. No, it's the ones that you click probably
again,
are gonna
yeah,
just.
you just click again, it shows up.
Yeah, there you go. And yeah, so that's basically what we wanted to go over for this live podcast, as well as like chat, like if any questions or anything interesting that you might wanna ask, like totally feel free. But that's mostly what we wanted to discuss, and how we managed to finally to get together and to start working on this.
Our first co-working, I guess, yeah, sort of semi like hybrid, because you and I, we both live around here, and then Risha like via Discord. But our first co-working session was last Sunday. Was it last week?
Yeah.
I feel like it was last week.
Sunday.
Sonia says hi.
Let me move more on this side, so when you can move also on
Like that.
more. Yeah, like
Yeah.
so that you're okay.
Sonia says hi. Sonia, hi. Sonia's actually doing a session with me. We're gonna be deploying some infrastructure with ARM, I think in January. That's gonna be
Nice.
cool. And we even talked about maybe doing some bicep stuff. So hello. And then speaking about Learn to Cloud, if I click on this one, it's gonna pop up now. Yeah.
Yep.
Rodney says I love the new logo. Looks super clean. Yeah, I really liked the original. So working with the designer, like the original logo that came, kind of looked like a healthcare place, and I was like, no, because of the blue, I think.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you got to add something to it. And then he's like, I'll add some nodes or some stuff like that. I'm like, yeah. But it's cool because it looks like a Transformers mask now.
Yeah. It does.
But it also looks like someone holding a book too, right?
Yes.
Plus the cloud thing. But yeah, I'm excited that Learn to. How did we come up with that? Because I know we were talking about like URLs. Like
yeah, I
domains.
think
I think
we were
we-
buying a domain.
on GA, I think it was like we were looking for like those. What's the name of it? That's a website where you can buy domains for
Free.
free.
Oh, yeah,
G-
yeah, yeah.
Free domain, freedom.
Yeah.
Freenom or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was self-taught, and then I think the first suggestion I had was self-taught.cloud,
Yeah, something like that.
and then you were like, no.
Because I didn't like. So I think obviously it's a self-taught guide, but I feel like it was like too redundant because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's obviously self-taught. I was like, no, we need something clever here.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like self-taught. I think you mentioned guide. I was like, learn to cloud, and then just learn to cloud.com. I don't think was available. I was like, learn to cloud.
Yeah, and then we tried IO, and it was super expensive.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, IOs are
It's like, I'm
all
not
like at
paying.
$1,200
Yeah,
or
it's on Namecheap,
something.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not paying
But
$100.
I don't know why they're called Namecheap if that's the.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, what's cool is like all the plans. We sort of have like 3 areas that we're focusing on now.
Let me try one thing in the meantime. I'm gonna try to do this so that it's a little bit
A little further
farther
back.
away. Oops, and then Rishabh disappeared.
Yeah, that's good.
There we go. Oh, too,
But anyway,
too tall.
like I mentioned,
Again, this is gonna be slight jank, but it's working. Okay,
good. Yeah.
there we go. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, do we want to dive into like what we're working on, or do we feel like we don't want to give away too much? I mean, it's
there-
all
there-
available.
Yeah, it's all gonna be available. Like it's not yet available because I just like it's still a private repo right now because there is not like
Oh,
a
yeah, you're
ton.
Yeah.
But we're gonna actually start deploying soon, at least in a kind of a preview mode. It's mostly gonna be like right now a hero, like a
Yeah.
splash page. But I mean, we can explain what is our idea and like at least trying to provide you with like what we think is the direction with the project, why we think the direction with the project makes sense,
Yeah.
like in terms of certain decisions and so on. And also we will like there's like an opportunities then for folks that want to work on something like that to.
It's clear from dust.
It's not. There's no dust. It's not like. Unfortunately, it's like webcam right now. There's no like dust on it. It's just like janky in the situation.
No, but
It's a hazy feed, yeah, but it's
this is the
not
best.
like, yeah,
guys,
it's
you're
not
gonna.
like,
It's fine. It's not bad.
I
think it's
just
bad.
broke my adapter for my other camera, so that's the key problem. Oh well.
We can. I guess we can talk about like how we've divided our responsibilities and like what the goal for the actual project is. So if y'all are familiar, learn2cloud.guide right now it's just a GitHub pages project. What we're gonna do is grab that same content but build an entire web app around it. Alfie could probably speak a little bit more to like the stack itself, but it's gonna be a proper web app, and our goal is to not focus necessarily on content or courses or anything like that, but more on developing proper exercises and projects that y'all can do to help to get hands on, but also build something that, you know, people can like contribute to in terms of like, all right, you can provide projects for people to complete, and like we'll link your blog or whatever. You'll have a profile to show like the projects that you've completed. You'll have also you can work on the web. It's open source, it's free always. Well, our goal is to like create GitHub issues that are labeled like beginner friendly or first contribution friendly or whatever it is, so people can get hands on. And there'll be like various aspects where like you can help develop with the front end, you can help develop the DevOps pipelines and stuff with Rishabh. Alva's taking care of like the front end authentication, that kind of stuff. I guess web app stuff, back end DevOps stuff, and I'm more focusing on like marketing, content, the guide itself, and that for now. But then as we grow and like make more, like there'll be more stuff for people to do. Alf, do you want to talk a little bit more about the stack?
Yes, absolutely. So the stack that we came up with was primarily Next.js, TypeScript Next.js for the everything front-end related. We're gonna be using most likely Supabase as our backend. Again, it's like such a wonderful library to work with in terms of like authentication, storage, database, everything that you can think of for like a web app, like putting it, like running it efficiently. Supabase, it's among the best. Tailwind CSS, because I love Tailwind CSS. So if you don't like inline styles, or go read something about it, because it's not just inline styles. And then we probably are gonna be using Vercel as our deployment for the front end. So it's a little bit of a combination of things: backend Supabase, front end Vercel, Next.js TypeScript, Tailwind CSS, and a few other things for fun, like Framer Motion for like animation and similar. In terms of like what the app, like what is the reason on like why is there currently like a repo that has all of the content? Why are we making a web app? Primarily, we thought that like the Markdown form is great, but the opportunity to actually have a little bit of a more granular and like checkpointable way of like viewing your progress is more useful overall. Like we have if you have the opportunity of like going through the motion, like going through the guide. Again, we're not focusing on content itself. Like we're gonna be pointing you in the direction of content, like good content that we found around. There's gonna be news and similar, but we are not creating content itself. The guide itself is a path.
The majority of the content will be the guide itself that already exists, really.
Yes, yeah. There is content that is already out there. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just trying to use our experience in learning and coming up from like different types of background, non-technical, technical, whatever they can be, and just trying to put together the pieces that make you go from a cloud person to a cloud person.
I think the coolest part is like the project the coolest right now, like I guess the feature that we're trying to get going is the project what do we call it? Project generator?
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's random project generator.
Yeah, so ideally it's like you'll provide we agreed on like a level of difficulty, like
some filters and parameters that you can choose. I want to work within the AWS ecosystem. I would like a beginner-friendly project. It would be like something like in Devops or something. Maybe you're working with networking and Linux, or maybe you're working with the DevOps part. You're doing some scripting or something, and then it's gonna provide you with a project that is kind of randomly generated. It's not exactly randomly generated. There's a lot behind the logic of that, but it kind of provides you a fresh project so that you haven't done before, and it just keeps track of the projects that you mark as complete by providing a link to the GitHub repo or a blog post where you're talking about it. So it's very like it's intended to be a tool for you to after you go through the path and reading about like the content that we suggest or finding your own content, then there is like a kind of this checkpoint and saying, okay, do I understand what I went through? And there is a project that is suggested to you at that point in your journey, and it says in journey like your path and your learning experience, and it's gonna tell you, hey, there is this project that is very suggested to you right now. Should you wanna try it?
Yeah.
And that's basically why there is a web app and not only like a list of markdowns. Basically.
Yeah, our focus on curation and things that you can get hands on with, and the projects themselves. Well, we're trying to make sure that they're all like there's live versions to everything.
Yeah.
Which is why it's probably gonna take us time. I know Rishabh's gonna do like the first couple of ones. But yeah, like you'll have like a project will be, and it's not gonna be like step 1, step 2. You're gonna have to like figure your way how to get it through, but there'll be a live version for you. Like, all right, this is like your end goal. Here are some resources. Here are some steps. Our goal is also to build something where in some sort of a way, like a template, like people can submit project ideas as well. And like if they have write-ups, they have blogs, they have tutorials that sort of like will help for the person to build their project. Like they can like submit it there too, and they get more eyes on their projects and things like that. Yeah, it's a goal. It's the web app itself. I think we see it as not only are we building our own skills, because like, you know, Alf, like with the stack that he'll be using, and then Rishabh, we were talking about a little bit of like the DevOps tools that you were mentioning, probably like Terraform and like GitHub Actions and things like that.
Yeah, I think those will be the tools we'll go for, especially for infrastructure, and then the CI/CD pod would be handled with GitHub Actions.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
And we're trying to keep it cloud agnostic. Like we're not trying to be like all AWS specific, all Azure specific, just because like I work at Microsoft or anything like that, or GCP. And it's very much a project for us to get like build our own portfolios as like cloud engineers and things like that. But also be something helpful that we wish we had in when we were getting started. So it's gonna be fun. There's a lot of work to do. I know we sat down that first day and we got so excited because we're like, there's so many things we can create. Like when I think for me, like the project thing is fantastic, but I think for me is like the profile and the actual like
I don't think we talked about profile.
We didn't talk about profiles yet?
We didn't mention it. So
nope.
Go again.
Oh, so my goal, what I envision is that like you'll have learn to cloud.guide / for my example, my username everywhere is made by GPS / made by GPS. It'll have like a very minimal profile, but it'll say like all the projects that I've completed, links, or at least a GitHub repo link to each project that I've completed to sort of keep me accountable, right? And then maybe some skills and things like that. But what I think would be cool is like, you know how Spotify has like the wrap up, the annual or yearly wrap up or something like that. It's like this was the project that you spent the most time doing or something like that. We haven't really like fleshed that kind of stuff out, but really like create some sort of social aspect around these things. Because I feel like when it comes to education, it's like all pretty boring. Yeah. And like in terms of like accountability and stuff like that, I think there's a lot of innovation to be done around that kind of stuff. So I think that would be fantastic. And eventually you can link like your own like learn to cloud profile to your resume. And it's like, oh, I can go see a list of everything I've done. All my GitHub links are in there and that kind of stuff too. There's a lot to,
especially with like online education. The only thing I have seen is a completion certificate from Udemy or whatever
which like
platform you're taking.
Yeah, but like, what's the use there? Like, if you could all have it in one place, like less bloated than LinkedIn. Even what's that other one? Polywork.
Polywork.
It's like too much to look at. Twitter is like great, but it's not like it's a use case. We want something that's just simple. It's like I need a list of my projects, and that I know that it's like it's just a clean like I need like someone from work wants to hire me or something like that. It's like clean list of everything.
The other good example is I think daily.dev does a great job of like the number of articles you have read and the topics that you're interested in. They give you a profile card and you can share it on your socials. So
and it's something that is like intentionally bare bones. Like it's not like this is something that right now it starts as these features and then eventually they're gonna grow to have more stuff, because it's intentionally a shareable and immediate thing. Like again, in the logic of hiring manager takes no time, like takes 5 seconds to read a resume. This should be a thing that you look at it, you see the projects immediately, you see how much you see your links, and you can go from there. And so it's an intentionally bare bones, specifically because we don't want to really turn this into a social media type of thing, like with like comments, friends, and similar, mainly because we are more interested in providing just like a path forward for you to learn and stuff, instead of actually being let me show, like, this is like a size contest of I have the longest lean projects or I have the best profile or things like that.
Yeah, I think you can relate it to more like if you're looking for, like, let's say, this is the most relatable example I can think of right now, is if you're looking for a web dev job, you just put out your projects on your resume. And those are like 2 or 3 solid projects that you have built over time with their GitHub links. So something similar to that, but have it in more interactive and cool looking way.
Yeah, I was thinking like have mobile friendly, easy, like think of like the concept of a business card where it's like clean, just the information that you need, but obviously like, digital, right? Yeah, there's a lot to think about. And also like the concept of like, all right, well now we're going to be handling data and there's privacy and like our mission statement, all that kind of stuff that I've like tasked myself to like figure out. And it's like our goal is to be very focused, like we're very cloud focused, we're focused on learner, focused on open source and free forever. Ideally we'd have like what are they called, contributors? No,
like the
sponsorships and stuff like that. But like when we think long term, but we're not trying to like build like a unicorn or the next Instagram or something like that. No, that's not the goal. It's like,
yes, this is like mostly a synthesization of like all of the experience that we accumulated over the time in working within the certain area, putting it together in a easily digestible form in an open source fashion. And as open source, if it gets used, people want to support it, great, but it's like the logic is like to make it available.
And I think like I remember like Gwen's, and basically our purpose of starting this was we didn't have anyone, like especially when I and Gwen and Antonio started, we didn't have any guidance starting in cloud, and we want to be there for people who are starting right now, and I think that's the main motive right now, not generating money.
No, not really. Also just like a solid place to go. Like I need to get hands on. How do I do this? Right now it's like spread all over. It's like the same thing over and over again. People will tell you just like deploy a static web app or something like that, or static website or something like that. And it's like, no, we're gonna take the time to build out a lot of projects that will work and that will actually get you hands on. And that's like,
that is more relatable to like real life job.
It'll be examples of stuff that we've done, right? Like pulling from our own experience, and like, we'll have them in our own environments in production, and then you'll have to like rebuild them or like pay pieces of them or stuff like that, right?
Yeah, most of the time it's gonna be like even provided a sample type of app that has certain functionalities. Like maybe it's a small app that has like very simple functionalities, but in terms of like the pipeline that you need to deploy it, or something that like the backend that you need to create to actually wire it together, like it's gonna be like the same that I would have done like probably at my job if I have to
at a smaller scale. Yeah,
it's definitely a smaller scale, absolutely. But the motions of doing the same thing are the same.
Yeah, we also want to provide like the stuff that, like for example, when it comes to cloud, like I think a lot of times people get stuck with like, oh, but I don't have a web app to deploy, because everyone tells you like deploy something simple, but it's like, well, what is that? Well, if we could create a template like an HTML, CSS, something put together simple. It's like grab this, deploy it with this way, now deploy it with containers, now deploy it with this kind of pipeline, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Right, so just like a bunch of stuff like that. Let me bring up some comments here. We'll answer more career stuff in a little bit, but we'll focus more on this. If I click on that, I'll go there. All right. After looking over content for cloud and DevOps, I didn't quite find what I thought was enough to get started the same way you could with something like web dev, so I'm excited for this. Yeah, that's the goal. It's like just projects, get hands-on as much as you can. I think it's still pretty new in terms of like the educational space for cloud, whereas like software dev has been around for like ever, right? There's like so many projects out there that you can do. So yeah, this is the goal. Thank you for that comment. It really is like captures what we're trying to do. I like the minimal hand-holding. Little walkthroughs are convenient. They are convenient, but I feel like when you like allow yourself to struggle and stress out and you're like, why is this not working? That's when you really learn. Yeah, because that's what it is like in real life. In an actual. Yeah, and it sticks.
Yeah, and definitely like this is like the classic example of like why going through a ton of like tutorials on like online, you don't learn anything. It's because they show you everything, you repeat it, but then nothing sticks because you never had to struggle to understand why something wasn't working. And this was like a very good example recently that I saw, was actually nothing related to cloud, but it was a game development from a game development channel called, like a game design channel called Game Maker's Toolkit. He started recently a new series where after years of explaining how games work, he's making his own game. And so he explained how I went through this whole 25-hour Unity tutorial, and I finished everything. I built my own game. At the end, after I built my own game, I didn't remember a single thing. Like when I had to start a new project from scratch, I didn't remember how to do the most basic thing. It's because there has been so much hand-holding and walkthrough, like the guided walkthrough, that is just like not sticking for, because there is nothing to stick there. It's not a sticky situation. The sticky situation is where you're struggling, that's why it's sticky, then it sticks.
I think the issue with when it comes to cloud education is like we're so quick to like with certifications, like you have something to share at the end. Well, it's so easy to like, you know, get your praise online and stuff like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying you don't necessarily learn the best way when you study for certifications, just because of the way they're set up. Like you could take like, you know, your time. Like I took like 6 months to study for the first one. I learned a lot and stuff like that, but like now applying that same logic where it's like, oh, you do have something to share the more you do, where we do like you learn to cloud profile. But it's like the only way you get more like stuff on your profile is if you actually complete the projects. But we don't plan to build anything to actually hold you accountable to like verify your GitHub repo or anything like that. But if you have a profile and it has like a project listed there and your GitHub repo points to nothing, it's going to look bad on you, right? We're all adults here. We're not trying to like baby you or anything like that, right? But
we're not like a certification entity. We're not providing you anything at the end. This is like it's a self-taught guide. Like before there was another name before Learn to Cloud, and it was the self-taught guide to cloud computing. And it's because it's self-taught. You are yourself, so you decide what is best for your career, and it could be that it's best for your career is for like going through tutorials, and for some people it works, but here is more of a guided path, but there's no like, it's like, hey, instead of like handling you and like being a taxi where we bring you everywhere, we give you a map and then you go, kinda.
I'm also like super excited to try out new things. Like I think with my role, like it's so like Microsoft focused, like the stack itself, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's like I always have to like feel like I have to go out of my way to like try new things. So now like, you know, Alf doing like TypeScript stuff and like React stuff, and then Richard like gonna be doing like some Terraform and DevOps stuff, and then even like outside of like the actual technical stack, but more of like looking into like what it means to have the proper license in terms of like an open source project, what it means to like deal with data and privacy and all those kinds of things. It's just like force us out of our element to an extent, and that's gonna be great as well. So overall,
we might be able to have Gwen write her first lines of JavaScript for the first time after years.
I should blog that or something like that. I was like,
first lines of JavaScript.
My first lines of JavaScript.
After years that I've been trying to tell her.
It's literally been 2 years, and Alf has been trying to like convince me to. I know I will. Like once you have like stuff set up and you're like, hey Gwen, go figure out how to do this. I'll probably like be able to do it. But I'm like, just having to learn it from scratch.
It's the hump. It's the starting hump.
Tutorial hell. I've been there with Fruity Loops. Fruity Loops is to make music, right?
Yeah,
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Especially like I have been there too. I don't know about you guys.
I've been in tutorial my entire life. I think I'm still there, most likely. I'm not like I feel like my most recent tutorial hell was Go. Because I figured out that Go isn't really for me because of I don't think that it's very true when they say that it has like a syntax that is like very similar to Python.
That's what I keep hearing.
And stuff like it's a very similar to Python, very intuitive. Then every single time I try to get into it, it's like no, that's not true. Like Python is easy, and it's not. Yeah, so that's my major thing. I don't think like it's like Go is really truthful in their marketing. So that was my most recent
That's a hot
tutorial.
take right there.
No,
That's a
I mean,
hot
I'm
take.
sure the Go is great. Eventually, I will force myself to learn it properly. But every single time I tried, I'm like, I'm falsely swayed into thinking that it's gonna be
Mhm.
a Python-like experience, and it's not.
Yeah, I didn't learn Go or was not exploring it. There was a valid testing library for Terraform. I think it's called TerraGrunt,
Okay.
and it's in Go. And I was like, okay, let's include this in our private Terraform modules at work. And I started it and went through all the documentation. I'm doing testing, nothing works, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I've been, y'all probably know, but I've been getting into Rust lately. Well, so my main reason to getting into Rust is because I have a .NET background, but I never chose it. It was just sort of because I worked at an Azure shop and like they were using like .NET framework. Like that stuff was like terrible to work with, and not necessarily the language itself or the framework itself. It was just like it had been passed around like so many times, so many developers and things like that. It was just legacy application. So now with like in my role as an advocate, I don't necessarily have to be tied to like any language, and I've been wanting to like dive deeper into something else. But like I'm starting to like pay more attention in terms of like the communities around the languages themselves, because I think that those matter too, right? And .NET has been, it's just like a lot of drama lately. Not saying that.
So you didn't find the JavaScript community amusing?
You mean tech Twitter? I didn't find tech Twitter amusing. No. I think JavaScript, TypeScript, all those like very web focused languages have their places. I just don't feel like a web developer. Not that I don't feel like a web developer. I just don't want it to be my focus. I've never had that much interest in it. Like, but Rust seems very interesting because I remember I learned. So for the 2 semesters that I did do in college, I did C++. Like I learned programming with C++, and it was just interesting. Like whereas like something like Python, JavaScript, .NET, all the kind of thing. There's like it's just a different kind of programming, I guess. Yeah. Like it's a little like you're it's like lower level and that kind of stuff. So. And the community, like there seems a lot of promise, a lot of potential there too. And ultimately, just learning something completely new is like what's interesting. But like the reason I brought that up is because it's always like if you go to YouTube and you search Rust, it's always gonna be like Rust versus Go. Which one should you learn?
Yeah.
And everything I hear about Go is like it's so easy. It's like Python on like someone said it's like Python on like rockets or something like, or Python on like, or like a super version of Python. I'm like, I've never done any Go at all. Like not even a Hello World, things like that. I've done a bunch of like Rust ones. I'm like, oh, this seems pretty interesting. Like there's more to it and things like that. And apparently like learning curve is like you need like a solid couple of weeks before you're productive, even if you have like a programming background. Whereas people will say like you can pick up Go in like a week.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't know. I believe it for some people maybe, but I don't believe that. Like
for me, it was Hello World worked so like it was charming when it worked.
Yeah.
And then everything else.
I mean, I did some like some stuff, but as soon as you have to work with like things like channels, and you have to work with like the coroutines and stuff like that, like Go routines and similar, then there are some things that are just you need to come with enter the mentality of Go, and it's like it's not as immediate as the people make it seem to be.
Like you need to put in effort.
Like it's not like Python, then Go, and it kind of like that seems to be like the hype, the marketing kind around the learning Go. It's like it's so like it's almost like it's like having the power of C, but the developer experience of Python. I don't think so.
I mean, it's good marketing.
It's good marketing, yeah, but if it's. I mean, I can say that I live in this wonderful, like that my office is this incredibly, like high-tech environment but it's not. That's marketing. That's fake marketing, though.
I see some career questions. Well, I guess we could dive into them. Hi to you, admin at GPS. I don't know what that means. All right. I want to ask you, where are you from and where do you work? I'm from New York. No, I live in New York, I guess, from Connecticut, but here in the U.S., and I work at Microsoft and here in New York. Do y'all want to talk a little bit about where you work, what you do?
Yeah, I'm Antonio, obviously. And Yeah, that's me, and I am originally from Italy, and now been living in New York since this past May. But I've been in the US for like 5-6 years at this point, and I work as a technical lead at Health Union, which is a healthcare social healthcare company. Like it's a multiple ways of thinking about it, but it's a company that we provide a healthcare community for long-term diseases, or like providing help for people that need to find a community within, like for specific health conditions specifically.
Cool. Rishabh?
I'm from Kingston, which is in Ontario, Canada. I'm just visiting New York now to meet Gwen and Alf in person for the first time. And I work as a DevOps engineer for ECI Software Solutions. It's a company based out of Texas. And yeah, that's about me.
Rishabh's the quiet one.
I'm the chillest.
I'm going to be talking with a recruiter I'm going to be talking with a recruiter with our IT department in a few days. Super excited, nervous. Any tips? That's awesome, Rodney. What are you talking about though? Like what? Tips. I don't think I've ever worked with a recruiter though, so I don't really have tips about recruiter specific. I think you have. You were talking about that earlier today.
I'll be clear on what you want to do. So when they suggest roles, that's something that's interesting to you, or you have interest in, because many times what I find is recruiters try to push roles that they're like they need to hire urgently, and it might not be what you want to do, but it's a dream company kind of situation. So don't like get in that situation, and make sure you're like clear on what you want to do and what roles are interesting for you.
I mostly depends, like my opinion is usually depends on what type of discussion you're having. Like a recruiter usually is it's kind of already kind of screening. Usually it's less of a like a discussion, like in like an introductory discussion, and more of like a first screening, because like a lot of times you can also have like just discussion with recruiters that are you're not intentionally trying to look for a job maybe at their company or something, or you're just asking opinions about like how to approach the recruitment process and similar. And so it depends on what you're doing. So if this is a more exploratory discussion, just make sure you understand what are your final goals for you, and in what are the types of company that you want to apply for and similar. If it's a kind of introductory call, like where this is like the first step in an interview process, just to make sure to understand the company well. Like I've seen a lot, like I do a lot of like hiring in my company, like for my team, for other teams in my data team and technology team. And one of the things that we really dislike for us, like as a very, very usually not a red flag immediately, but like enough of a red flag because it's like a 5-minute thing, is like some people just comment like, I have no idea what your company does. Like I saw that there is this opportunity, but I have no idea what your company does. And if you just know, even if you tell me, like, I'm not sure how your like company exactly works. I know that you have these, but I don't know how like you monetize. That's like a question that we had. Very fair, because it's a little bit complicated. But if you come and say, I have no idea what your company does, I literally just read that you're looking for a DevOps engineer, say, and that's what I'm looking for. And like that's kind of more of a red flag. It's not like necessarily, oh yeah, I don't care, but it's definitely more like it shows that there is no specific interest in the position other than like the name of the position. Like there's not more about, oh, I'm interested in the stack you're using, I'm interested in this thing or interested in that thing.
Yeah. No, that is a good point. It depends on where you are. Like if it's just like if you're exploring with a recruiter, yeah, I would check what your long-term goals are and what your interests are. But if it's an introductory call for a role, yeah, make sure you do your research.
Yeah, be honest. And I think recruiters also, it's their goal to get people hired.
Yeah.
So like, use them as a resource as well. But yeah, good luck to you. Keep us posted. Here's one that probably, like, I think maybe both of you could talk a little bit too. What's the path for folks overseas to work in the cloud for U.S. companies? Alf, that's probably a good question for you.
Okay, so this is a whammy. Okay, so there is a few things to this question because it really depends on because, for example, I give you an example. Like, I have a lot of hiring in my company, as I just mentioned, and a lot of the hiring that we do is like also overseas contractors. So it's definitely easier as an overseas contractor because there is no visas involved. Like, it's just like contract to work for a company. So it's a little bit easier. It's just that you have to work with certain companies that provide overseas contractor roles for US companies. That is like the same level of experience. Like, for example, all of the people that are overseas contractor in our company are participating in every single of the like stand-up, like in Scrum ceremonies as us. They're in the same Slack channels. Everything is the same thing. It's just like the contract, how it works is just that we don't like bring them here in the US. If you actually want to come to the US, it's a little bit of a tricky one. Like I'm still like in the thing for like visas and similar after like 7 years that I've been here, 6 years that I've been here. Like, first time I was here was in 2015, and so it's a little bit more complicated. I'm mostly done with education. Like, I got my master's here and so on, so that definitely was like slightly easier path to then get started with my career here. But it's definitely like the immigration in the US is a very, very thorny thing, and it's like not easy to just start like, because you need to have already like some connections here that are strong enough that they would like to like sponsor you or at least put the word for you. And it's really hard from scratch, and I don't mean it like to like put like undermine your like experience or like trying to tell you no, don't do it. It's just that there is a lot of hurdles to go through, and like some ways are easier than other, like education or similar. It's a pretty thorny process overall.
Yeah, I have never been through any of that, so I wouldn't know. I know you sort of have experience with like Canada.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could share.
I think I just want to point it out that it might differ depending on the country you pick. And having seen, you mentioned US, I know Antonio has more experience with that. In Canada, it was pretty, I would say it's easier than US. It's like, I don't want to say that it's easy, but it's easier than US if you compare that. But yeah, for me, it was a 2-year diploma in computer networking, and then I got a job in help desk, worked my way up to get into cloud, and the residency and like the green card part was like, it went through as I was moving up the ladder at the company. And there are employers that might like help you to get all that paperwork and visas and stuff. And that might be also a good point, that make sure you do your research, because there's like, as Antonio mentioned, even with my company too, we prefer contractors more because it's easy. You don't have to figure out any of the paperwork. Whereas if someone wants to move to Canada directly and work for our company, it's really hard to get that done. So yeah, look out for that.
And also another thing that I would say is like you working for US companies, like if you intend moving around, doesn't mean that working for a US company you need to be in the US.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like you can be
true. working
working for like Microsoft in like Italy or like Spain or wherever you are. Like, so it really depends. If you're like interested in the US company culture, then like it really depends. Like, you could be working for people, you know, like the company in your country or somewhere close that is easy for you. Maybe if you're a European citizen, you could you are free to work in any of the European countries. So that would be an easy one. But again, really depends on like the situation there.
All right, here's a wait. Am I on mute? No. Did I bring it up? Did that come up? No.
Oh.
I pressed the wrong button.
Okay.
How much would it cost me to have a 15-minute call with someone? LOL. I have cloud curator questions that have been driving me crazy.
What do you mean with someone, like someone from us?
Like one of us. I think I speak for all of us when you say you can mention us on Twitter and we're gonna respond at some point.
Or you
right?
can,
Oh,
like, put the question right now. And
Or
yeah,
just literally
you can
ask right.
put question right
ask your
now.
questions right now.
DM on
This is-
Twitter.
we do these streams like randomly, but almost like a couple of times I
In a
would say
month,
in a
yeah.
month. So like at any point you can find us and just ask us questions.
yeah.
We're all super accessible on social media as well.
Yeah.
And we want, like, it will help someone else too, because someone else will
Yeah.
have the same questions that you might have.
Which is I don't do mentoring sessions for that
Mhm.
same purpose where it's like it's not that I don't have the time to like do them individually. It's just like you have a question that other people most likely have. It's like I'll just make a video or something like that. So like it's the same for all of us. It's like we want to help as many people as we can, but we can't if you don't ask. So yeah, just ask us.
Yeah, you can put it in the chat.
Just put it in the chat right now. We're literally here right now. Here's one that's interesting. I think the answer is obvious here. To spread more and more information or to reach upon more and more people, which is best, Android, iOS, or website, or any other cloud application or any option you suggest. I mean, if you think of website versus iOS app, like which one does anyone have an access to regardless of their device, right?
Yeah, like
It's a website, so
website
it's gonna
is
be a
100%.
Yeah.
Like you can make a mobile-friendly website and you have access to every single person.
I think if you're creating something now, I think the default should be like mobile-friendly website now.
yeah, no,
there's
that's,
like
And even like with bigger apps, if you see they start out with the web app and then they go into like native worlds of iOS and Android. That's the trend I have been.
if you think about it, most companies do not specifically hire iOS or Android engineers. It's only if it's a very native experience, as in it's a specifically only mobile type of like I don't know, Pokemon Go. You can get it on like a computer because you need to be around with your phone. So, but it's like the thing is that it's much more of a niche than people think. The iOS and Android development, because a web developer is gonna be much more in demand than a iOS or
Absolutely.
Android developer.
also all these frameworks that are coming out and tools that are coming out. Like you use one set of tools and you have apps that work everywhere. Like
React Native,
React,
Flutter, like you have everything. Like most of these compile to native code, and you can just like learn one thing. Like obviously, like React Native, you learn React as the overall, but you need obviously there are a few differences.
Yeah.
But if you learn the logic of React, then you understand also React Native.
strangely, I saw that Oracle is giving free cloud infrastructure training plus certs through December 31st. Has any of you used Oracle?
Never
Cloud?
touched
No?
the Oracle. Never opened the website
Do you
either.
have,
did a
you have a certification? Of course you did.
Yeah.
And this was the same thing they did in 2020, like free certifications and training.
Mhm.
So I got one with that. I was gonna sit second, and I'm like, okay, and there's no way I'm using this. And I talked.
How was it? Did you logged in all that kind of stuff? I'm sure.
Yeah, it was okay.
What's it like when like rank them like UI wise? Which one? What top 4
I would rank Azure,
UI
yeah,
first?
GCP. I would rank GCP first.
Yeah.
Azure
I would agree.
second.
Yeah.
AWS third, just because it keep changing stuff. It hurts so bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes I was in Route 53 the last weekend, and I couldn't find a damn button that was sitting right there like a month ago. And because I don't change Route 53 records so often, I'm like, where did it go?
Yeah, it's that's one thing with AWS. I feel like that's an unfortunate thing, honestly.
Yeah,
It's,
I need to sign
kind
up
of-
for their emails for like web UI changes.
Yeah,
They do inform people on changes though?
They do.
Oh, that's
but
good.
you have to be very active.
Yeah, but yeah, and then
Oracle's after that.
no, there's DigitalOcean, then
Oh, okay.
Linode.
Alibaba.
Linode is pretty good though, huh?
Linode is
It's
great.
good.
Yeah.
Linode is
Yeah.
a very good one.
Yeah, definitely.
And then maybe Oracle.
When it comes to Linux stuff, Linode is like top notch. It's like because they're so hyper focused on, and they've been doing it for like since
Yeah,
like
I think
2000.
I've used them
They're
for
from
like,
Philly too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're from Philly. I used to walk by their thing. They are in like a old bank thing building. They look like a bank.
Yeah.
Like they look like the stereotypical bank in action movies that get robbed because it literally looks like with the triangle on top and like the big columns and stuff.
Yeah, and I think they were before. They were
like
in the
first.
space before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, AWS.
Yeah, they've been in the space for a very long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. All right, well, good to know where Oracle sits. I mean,
UI wise.
UI wise, but then did you deploy any stuff or anything?
Yeah,
Let me go back
but
to
it
this one.
was their naming is really close to AWS. So the services, the names for the services is really close.
EC3 instead of EC2.
Like,
S4.
yeah,
They're
no,
like
it's
one step away from like copyright infringement.
It's VS3s, like very simple.
Very, very simple.
Wow, cool. I mean, the good thing about like cloud I guess cloud fundamentals is like it's all pretty standard.
And this is what we say all
And if
the
it's
time.
free,
it's
too.
like once you know fundamentals of cloud, which is why like we are building like Learn to Cloud, which is not it's
cloud agnostic.
Yeah. And
It's like once you learn the fundamentals of cloud, you can apply to everything, and it's just like about knowing where to touch the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to be that jerk who like, like I don't want to. If you want to go ahead and do Oracle,
I mean, it's free.
Yeah, it's free. You
Why
can
not?
go ahead and do it, and it might be popular in your area.
Yeah, it might be a good niche to get into.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, it really always depends like on the local. If locally speaking, Oracle is the one that is most used.
Oracle.
There is no reason not to do Oracle. Like if anything, you would be making yourself a disservice by being less competitive in a market where there's more
Yeah.
people.
So don't
Like,
listen to me. No, I have talked to people, and they were like, "Oh," and think there was someone who was in like Korea somewhere. And they're like, "Oh, Alibaba and Oracle are the go-to cloud platforms." I'm like, "Oh, this is totally different because it's so different here." So yeah, make sure like if it's popular, go for it, and it's
Yeah,
free.
why not? Just add them on Twitter. I'm sure they respond. Yeah, I mean, second to asking us here, I think the best option probably Twitter. But yeah, we usually respond. I think we're pretty good at getting back to questions and stuff like that. I just want my foot in the door, basically a mobile help desk guy, and graduate into cloud or whatever else I come across that could be interesting. I mean, Rishabh and I like preach this from anywhere we can. Like help desk is such a great way to get into tech. Do your time there. It's not the best job in the world, but you get exposed to so many things. Work your way up. It's very possible. So that's like a good first step. What do you folks think about the Great Resignation happening? I'm not gonna lie, I don't have an opinion on this. Anyone?
I feel like it's fair at this point. Like it's coming. Like it came already. Like I feel like there's been like a big wave already of it. I personally know a number of friends of mine that like decided to just find better shores. It's like because like now everyone is assuming that like there are a set of benefits like that come with the job, like remote friendliness and such. A lot of companies are like whenever there is a CEO of real estate fund that says working from home is not for high functioning teams, that's not true. Like that's like a lot of people are starting to understand that like work is not the only thing in your life. So work should be what enables you to have a life, not the opposite.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. So when you realize that your other job is treating you a little bit like a disposable thing, then you dispose yourself away and go find better things. So I think it's fair because a lot of people are realizing that we are in a tight market, and there are a lot of people that are looking for opportunities, and like a lot of companies that are looking for people, and not a lot of people that are offering. So other people are playing their cards right. I think it's just fair.
Yeah, I'm not seeing like I think it's a thing even in bigger cities in Canada, but I'm not seeing it like in Kingston and other cities, and there are only like 1 or 2 people who left.
In my company, not a many, but I know of people that are like more in the like specifically in the Bay Area.
Yeah, and I think with my like colleagues who left, it was like they got really big gigs because they were offering remote, and like now you can work for bigger companies who are offering way more salaries than like a local in town shop. kind of thing. But yeah.
Mm. I see it as like, there'll be more opportunities for people, more of these gigs. Like, think back like when I started in cloud, there was no way I was going to get a remote job.
Oh yeah.
No way. And whereas now it's like even entry level, it's like there's a possibility. It's not a guarantee, of course, but yeah, it's a great time to upskill. It's a great time to learn new stuff, and then like with more roles opening up, better for everyone, I guess. I personally don't plan on resigning anytime soon. I don't know about you. Yeah. Let's essentially this last one. I know Rishabh has to catch a train at 8, I think, right? 8?
Yeah. 7.
No, I think it was 8. Well, it was at 7:14, but it's like 7:02. There's no way you're catching that one.
Yeah.
So let's answer this last one, and then we could like sign off because we've been live for about an hour now anyway. So Google's doing something similar with 3 months to earn skill badges in GCP. I said this the other day, though I know I work on Microsoft, so I know I'm biased, but I think Microsoft Learn is so underrated in terms of like learning content. It's always free. Recertification is always free. I think our certifications are also like decently priced, right?
Yeah, and there's Ignite going on.
And there's Ignite, so you can win a voucher in like Cloud Skills to get certifications for free. So I don't know. If you're thinking about certifications, consider like the big three, so GCP, AWS, Azure, and there's just like so much free stuff out there, right, to learn.
Yeah, and
or learn to cloud.guide as well.
Yeah, start there for fundamentals, and then
it's coming.
Look for like local jobs. See if GCP is popular or Azure or AWS, and pick your cloud and
see what's popular in your area and go from there.
Yeah, time is money, so don't like. If Oracle there's no job posting with Oracle, don't do it.
Don't learn. I mean, be strategic with your time, right? Don't like learn just to collect badges. This
like
is
me.
Okay,
learn cloud, don't learn cloud providers.
We should put learn cloud.
Powerful.
No, we should do learn cloud, not providers. We should do a shirt that says that.
Yeah, that's gonna be like the swag.
Yeah, oh, that would be sweet.
Learn to cloud. Hey, damn.
That'd be sweet.
Look at that. All these marketing ideas out of nowhere.
All right, and then we get ended, guys. Pretty cool. We're gonna sign off. The next stream we're gonna do is probably back on StreamYard or something like that. Look here. Learn cloud, not providers. Good stuff, right? Yeah, guys. Any last questions you want to fit in, or any last messages y'all want to say anything?
I think that's.
This is pretty cool. Who knows when we'll just try going to learn cloud. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong one. There we go. Learn to cloud side not going through. It's learn to cloud.guide. Pretty sure it's live.
It should be still up. It's not the new version, by the way.
Yeah, it's
like
still the static.
Still the learn to cloud guide.
Arrows.
No, it's right there.
It's learn to cloud. Learn to.
Well, it's okay. You can. Oh well. Your connection failed. It's like right now it's a GitHub hosted thing. So it's there we go. Let's see. We're checking live.
There we go.
No, it's up. Learn to cloud.guide should be going. Like we can click and put it there.
Connection failed. What?
Oh well.
No, it's.
Anyway, that should work. We're gonna put the link in the chat.
Can you put links from?
Yeah.
There we go, and then we can just highlight it from when it pops up.
Should be good to go.
Yeah, we should be almost there. But yeah, no, it should work. Like right now, it's just like a static GitHub page set up, so it should work because if it's on GitHub page, it should work.
Our goal is to have the first version of the new web app sometime by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like to launch for like the beginning of New Year's.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a probably
Christmas gift.
A very beta version though.
I see it as like, New Year, people want to learn new things. Let's get going. Like you'll have something to use.
Fits both.
It fits both. Yeah, Christmas gift, and because who wants to start learning during? It doesn't pop up yet. Learn. It's right. It's in the chat. Learn to cloud, guys.
It's in the chat. Yeah.
All right, everyone.
All right.
Signing off.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking your time to here chat with us. Really appreciate it, and we are gonna be most likely we're gonna restart eventually also the cloud code
We're gonna use it like an
Live,
audio journal for our like the actual development of
progress of
like a log, kind of like a log. Yeah.
Like how Ben Abbott. Ben? It's Ben, right?
Who's Ben?
Who's Ben?
The guy who tried Svelte and then hated it, and then he's like
Ben Awad?
Yeah.
Oh, Ben Awad. Yeah. We
We
can
have,
the
like-
hyperlog
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that kind of.
We do have a podcast, Cloud
We
Code
do.
Live.
This is
the
actually you
podcast.
are watching a live episode of the podcast.
Yeah,
It's
we're
called
gonna-
Cloud Code Live. There are 9 episodes out.
Yeah.
This is the 10th technically, or this is number 1 of season 2.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how we're gonna decide.
We should do
it.
that because let's say season 1 was like focused on topics, where season 2 is going to be like the logs of like
Yeah,
of Learn
I
to
think,
Cloud.
I think the key thing is like a lot of the time it depends on like what we can do on like in with times and such.
Yeah.
It depends a lot of the time. So there are like spurts of time where we can actually feed up a bunch of episodes. So that's probably gonna be the way we're going forward with that.
Yeah, I think it'll be really nice. Like just like if you let's say you completed the front end and then you have some tasks for us and just discussing it, like all 3 of us.
We could do it on a pod.
We can
That'd
do,
be cool.
That would be
Yeah.
on a
You
pod,
could
or you
catch us
can
up
even do,
on- and
or
then
you
we-
can even do like a live working session or
Something like
something
that, too.
That would be some stuff like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It'll be pretty cool.
All right. Well, anyway, in the description, I'll link after like this is done. We'll link to everything that you need. But yeah, if you go to twitter.com/cloudcodelife, it's there.
Yeah.
All our socials will be in the description.
Also, twitter.com/learn to
Learn
cloud.
to Cloud. Yeah. I'm also like tweeting stuff out like when we work or what we're working on, that kind of stuff too. So, all right, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you so much for taking the time. So we'll be seeing you next time. So peace.